I recently got in contact with Chrsitopher Ward, and they were nice enough to loan me their C1000 Typhoon Cockpit Edition for review. While I'm incredibly grateful that they decided to work with me, the following review attempts to be an unbiased look at the watch. We hope this review was entertaining, beautiful, and informative. If it wasn't, please let us know in the comments down below. A Swiss chronograph can be very expensive, and if you're looking to buy new, it can be hard to find one under $1,000. The C1000 from Chrsitopher Ward is priced at $1,370, just above that $1,000 entry price point. The question remains, can this watch set itself apart from the competition and justify its $370 premium? I think the answer is yes, but let me explain why. The watch is constructed of black ceramic, which ironically feels softer to the touch, but is 7 times harder than steel. That means, in addition to being incredibly light, the case of the watch is 7 times more scratch resistant than regular steel. I would like to add that in addition to being incredibly scratch resistant, the case of the watch is not a fingerprint magnet and shows little sign of wear. In addition to the black case, the movement of the watch is encased in a titanium subframe. While these exotic materials may not wow you, the rest of the watch is also technically impressive. The watch features a Valjoux 7750 movement with a unique twist. In an effort to balance the dial, the 9 o'clock second hand of the movement remains hidden behind the face of the watch. This removes the second-hand functionality of the piece, but makes this watch a 2-register chronograph. This 2-register design, in my opinion, is gorgeous and is incredibly hard to find at this price point. Outside of the movement, the watch has all the expected bells and whistles for a watch of this price point, including AR-coated sapphire glass, superluminova coated indices and hands, and an engraved crown and caseback. In addition, I would like to mention that the loom is designed beautifully, and the canvas strap is robust and comfortable. The watch is also sized well at 42 millimeters in diameter. It's also worth noting the watch is limited to 1,000 pieces, so if you want one, you should pick one up at the Chrsitopher Ward website. I honestly cannot find anything about the watch to complain about, even when nitpicking. I would like it to be priced lower, as nearly $1,400 is a lot to spend on the watch, but even at that price point, it blows away the competition. The C1000 Cockpit Edition earns a solid 9.5 out of 10 in the value category. As we mentioned in the previous section, the watch uses a Valjoux 7750 movement. This is a fairly standard chronograph movement, given the price, and can be found in much more expensive chronographs offered by Breitling, Tag Heuer, and others. The 7750 movement has 25 joules, a power reserve of 42 hours, and operates at 28,800 vibrations per hour, or 8 ticks per second. The chronograph can time durations up to 12 hours, which I found to be more than enough when using the watch to time tasks for productivity measurements. It's also worth noting that the minutes register at the 12 o'clock position ticks at distinct 1-minute intervals, whereas the hour register at the 6 o'clock position sweeps slowly as time progresses. I found the non-uniformity of this a bit irritating, but it may have just been my OCD. Winding the watch feels smooth, but is a bit noisy. Finally, the chronograph pushers feel solid when actuated, and I do not worry that they will be accidentally pressed. Overall, I'm a bit torn on how to score this watch's movement. For the price, I cannot ask for much more, as an in-house chronograph movement would be astronomically expensive. Additionally, Chrsitopher Ward's execution of this standard movement, which included hiding the 3rd register, is near impeccable, and I have a hard time asking for more given the watch's price. That being said, the Cockpit Edition earns an above-average score, or 8 out of 10 in the movement category, as I think Chrsitopher Ward's design choices set them apart from other chronographs. I have been dying to talk more about the design elements of this watch, and now that we are in the design category, we can. Quick disclaimer, I'm not an expert, and this category is largely subjective, so feel free to score the watch for yourself in this category. So let us wrap up my thoughts. What stood out to me most about this watch was Chrsitopher Ward's use of yellow. From the warning designs on the dials and subdials to the numerals on the minute track and the tip of the second hand, the color yellow gives this watch some much needed contrast and makes the design pop. It's hard for any manufacturer to integrate 4 different colors onto the dial with sophistication, and Chrsitopher Ward pulled it off in this case. The colors work well together and do not clash, as one may expect. I would be remiss if I did not mention the flight elements this watch so seamlessly ties together. First, the yellow warning designs from 0 to 10 on all dials mimics the Typhoon FGR4's instrument panels. In addition, the watch's second hand has a counterbalance with the outline of the Typhoon fighter jet. The watch's embossed metal caseback continues the aviation theme of the watch, with the motto of the FGR4, a picture of the jet, and its full name. Finally, the strap and particularly the metal bracelet also look like they belong on an aviation watch. There is no way you can mistake this watch for anything else. It's simply a beautiful and rugged aviation piece. This watch has exceptional styling. Even though it is a commemorative watch, it does not obnoxiously flaunt the commemorative design elements. Because Chrsitopher Ward was able to balance these unique design elements in such an iconic way, this watch earns a 9 out of 10 in design. One of the most important things to consider when purchasing a watch is how it performs in everyday life. So the next category of our review is usability, where we will discuss that topic in detail. As I alluded to in the price category, this watch is made of black ceramic with a titanium subframe. This makes the watch lighter than steel counterparts and is incredibly scratch resistant. I appreciated both of these benefits while using the watch, as the lighter weight makes the watch more comfortable and the increased scratch resistance keeps the watch in pristine condition. The strap securely holds the watch to my wrist and may be the most comfortable strap I have experienced to date. The trifecta of the watch's lightweight, comfortable strap and curved lugs makes this piece a joy to wear. But how about actually operating the watch? Well, as I previously mentioned, the chronograph functions are incredibly satisfying to use, and the crown of the watch is large enough to wind it smoothly. The only negative would be that all 3 of these things do not screw down, and thus the watch has a water resistance of only 50 meters. I feel okay wearing this watch in light rain, but if it was pouring, I would be a bit concerned about the watch. In terms of legibility, the watch is outstanding. The dial accentuates the hour and minute hands, and the sapphire glass has very little reflection to it. Overall, I found the watch to be exceptionally comfortable, despite my smaller wrists, and very easy to use. The C1000 earns an 8 out of 10 in usability. For our final category, I have decided to change things up a bit, so if you're a regular viewer, I apologize. Our last category, which used to be wow factor, is now quality. In this section, we talk about how the different intricate details of the watch come together and how well they were executed. To start off, let us start at the strap and work our way in. A cheap watch strap is commonly found on watches where the manufacturer is trying to cut costs. I was pleased when I first experienced the strap included on the C1000, as it was clear to me that this was a high-quality strap. Not only is the strap comfortable, but it also feels robust and well made. The buckle at the end of the watch strap speaks to the quality of the strap, as its finish matches the finish on the case of the watch. Moving to the back of the watch, the commemorative embossing also screams quality. To show you just how good this is, let's quickly compare it to the Seiko Tsunami embossing. You will notice that the C1000 has a different finishing, cuts, and colors, whereas the Seiko only has one pattern stamped into the dial. While this may never see the light of day while the watch is on your wrist, the embossed back speaks to the level of detail Chrsitopher Ward paid attention to when designing and constructing this watch. Finally, let us take a closer look at the dial of this watch. There were 3 things about this watch that impressed me when I first looked at it. First, the sapphire crystal does not reflect much light. I know we've covered this in the review before, but it is an impressive feat. Second, the watch's lume design is incredibly well done. It would have been easy for Chrsitopher Ward to put too much lume on the dial, but I think they applied just the right amount. The third and maybe most subtle element of the watch that impressed me was the design of the subdials. They are very clear and easy to read, but the face behind them give off a nice sheen. This sheen actually matches the way light bounces off the case of this watch very well. Overall, the watch is incredibly well made and receives an almost perfect score, 9 out of 10. So that wraps up our review, but before I say goodbye, we have to tally the scores from every category to give the watch a final score out of 100. With a 9.5 out of 10 in value, an 8 out of 10 in movement, a 9 out of 10 in design, an 8 out of 10 in usability, and a 9 out of 10 in quality, the C1000 Typhoon Cockpit Edition earns a total score of 87 out of 100, which earns our silver seal of approval. If you are new to the channel and would like to see more videos like this, then I would encourage you to subscribe down below. And if you are an old-time watcher and would like to support the channel in a more direct way, head on over to the link in the description down below where you can support us on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to monthly exclusive videos with me and my girlfriend. So as always, I would like to thank you all for watching. My name is Josh, and this is the Perfect Timepiece channel. I'll see you all next time. Bye.